Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nur Fatifarana binti Zaid. So, in this video, our group will be presented a topic under demand and supply in chapter 2, which is price elasticity of demands. It sounds like a very fancy concept, but it actually a way for economists to measure the sensitivity or responsiveness of the quantity demanded due to a change in its price. In general, However, for some products, the customer desire could drop sharply even with a little price increase. For example, the handphone that everyone uses. As we know, handphone got many different types and different branded based on the company. And now, the company keep release the new phones which more sophisticated due to economy and technology increasing. For other products, it could stay almost the same, even a big price increase. For example, cosmetic product for women like deodorant, perfume. This is because these products are used by them on their daily basis, regardless of the time, especially for workers. Next, economists use the term elasticity to denote the sensitivity to price increases. More precisely, price elasticity gives the percentage change in quantity demanded when there is a 1% increase in price, holding everything else constant. Holding everything else constant means other factors that affect the demanded will not change. For example, consumer income, the number of users, and the other more. Back before, we had learned the determinants of demand, which consists in external factors, which is price of related goods, consumer income, consumer fashion, taste and preferences, population, expectation about future prices, advertisement, festive season and climate, level of taxation, and lastly, supply of money in circulation. So now we will discuss about 8 determinants of price elasticity of demand. Firstly, existence of substitute. Secondly, proportion of expenditure on a good. Thirdly, nature of good. Fourthly, income levels. Fifthly, time dimensions. 6, habit. 7, complementary goods. And lastly, frequently purchased product. So let's go through.
Hi, my name is Nur Sofiati Nadira binti Abdul Razak. Today, I'm going to talk about the existence of substitute. Substitute means of product that can satisfy the same customer needs of each other, or it can define as a person or a thing acting or serving in another place. Existence of substitute is divided by two. First, the product with many substitutes. When the product with many substitutes, the demand will be more elastic because the customer or the consumer is more responsive to the price. For example, in the slide I attached, first example is when the Pilot pen brand is increased in the price, it can substitute with the Faster or Stabilo brand pen. The second example is when the price of the Canon printer increase, it can substitute with the HP printer. The other example as I attached in the slide is the Apple can substitute with the orange because the efficacy of the apple is same with the orange. Or maybe you can replace it with the papaya or the other fruit. Next, the existence of substitute is product with low or no substitute. When the product is low or no substitute, the demand will be inelastic because the customer or the consumer have no or little choice to substitute the product. Even the product price is increased because there is no suitable substitute. As the example I attached in the slide, when the product of petrol is increased, the petrol have no substitute, so the customer have less reaction to to the price of the petrol, even the price of petrol increase. For another example, as I attach in the slide, the water have no substitute. Even the price of the water increase, the customer or the consumer need to choose the water because the water have no substitute. If you guys know the substitute of water, you guys can tell me, okay? Because I want to do some research so I can collect more money for my future.
Factor is income level. Income level. People in the higher income group will tend to have inelastic demand because they have less sensitive toward price changes. Okay, from the sentence, what I think I can explain is that when you are rich, you can buy anything. When you are poor people, you don't have money, so you only spend the money for food, medicine, maybe something that is much more important than other stuff, not for partying and other than that. This is the example. The rich people, the poor people. Rich people believe they create their life, while the poor people believe that the life happened to them. I agree with that.
Next, I will be present about the nature of goods. A normal good, also called as a necessary good, doesn't refer to the quality of the good, but rather the level of demand for the good in relation to wage increases or declines. Goods can be broadly categorized as a necessary good and a luxury good. The demand for necessary goods is inelastic compared to the demand for less important goods, such as foods, water, and electricity. Necessity goods have inelastic demand because changes in price will not affect the quantity demanded much. For example, a necessary good such as food is generally inelastic because consumers still buy the food even if the price changes. In general, the greater the necessity good, the less elastic or more inelastic the demand will be. Meanwhile, the demand for less important goods is elastic because it is not necessary in daily life, such as jewelry, cosmetics, and gadgets. The price increases of products will greatly affect the quantity demanded. For example, an LED televisions represent a luxury good that tend to be very sensitive to changes in consumers' income. Suppose that the price of LED televisions decreases in price by 50%, the demand will be increased because they are more affordable to those who were unable to purchase them before. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Aina Sufia binti Muhammad Nasir. So I'm going to present to you point number 6, which is habits. Habits, goods such as alcohol and cigarette is very addictive to the consumer who consume this stuff. So when the price of this thing increases, the quantity demanded for this price will change just a little. Why? Because majority of people who consume this stuff will keep repeating to buy this stuff because they need it in their life. It is very addictive. So the little percent of people who do not buy this stuff maybe because of their personal issue. So because demand will respond less to the price change, thus cause inelastic demand. Thank you.
The factor is time dimension. The longer the period of price changes, the more elastic the demand will be. Short-term price changes will have inelastic demand. Okay, short-term and elastic demand. Okay, short-term is that when you buy, you want. Okay, for example, Samsung only released the new conditioner for only 4 weeks, so you have to buy it. So everyone buying the stuff because it's like limited editions and it's much more, like something different like that. And then, however, price changes in the long term will have elastic demand because buyer will have more information on the ability of substitute good. Okay, what I think I know about the long term is that the product will be in the market for very long time. For example, shampoo Dove. Everyone knows Dove. It's the highest, the prices Dove shampoo in the market these days. Okay, elastic demand. Elastic demand is a condition in which a small percentage change in the price of a product will lead to a large percentage change in the quantity demanded. What I can explain is that when the price increase, the quantity increased in a huge amount, like a lot. I mean, it's kind of weird, like price increase and then you want to buy a lot. No, what it means is that maybe it's for something substitute, maybe toothbrush and toothpaste. If the toothbrush increase, the toothpaste also increase. For example, when the price of the compact disc increased by 10%, the quantity demanded for the disc will increase by 20%. Like if you have the compact disc, like a lot of spaces for the disc, you can buy more discs. Do you get me? Okay. Next is elastic demand. Elastic demand is a condition in which a large percentage change in price will only affect the quantity demanded in a small percentage. For example, 10% rise in the price of petrol will lead to a slight decrease of 2% in the quantity of petrol demand. What it means is that when the price increase, the quantity demand will increase like a bit. It will not decrease a lot. It will not decrease a lot because petrol is kind of like a useful for people because people these days have a lot of cars. Okay.
Next, I will be present about the proportion of expenditure on a good. Demand sometimes depends on the value of a good, which is whether the good is cheaper or more expensive. Products that have low prices will not affect the quantity demanded by consumers, such as bread, eggs, and tomatoes. If the price of product increases, consumers will be less sensitive to the price change. It tends to have inelastic demand because it will only affect a small portion of consumers' income. For example, if the price of eggs increases by 20 cents, the consumer will still buy the eggs. It is because the price change will not affect the consumer's income, as the goods are cheap, so that's why the demand will be inelastic. Meanwhile, products which are expensive will tend to have elastic demand, such as car, gold, and diamond. If the price of product increases, consumers will be more sensitive to the price change. When a greater portion of consumers' income is needed for a more expensive product, demand will be elastic. For example, when the good is already expensive, such as a Produa car which costs Rm72K, then it increases by 10%, it will give a big impact to the consumers as it affect the consumer's income. People are unable to buy the product because it is more expensive than before. That's all from me. Thank you.
Point number 7 is complementary goods. Complementary goods, for example, is coffee and sugar. Goods that have joint demand are inelastic, so if the price of sugar increases, the demand for coffee will be inelastic because we need sugar to drink coffee, so consumer will be less sensitive towards the price of complementary goods.
Frequently purchased product is the last one of determinants of price elasticity of demand. Frequently purchased products mean products which are consumed regularly and purchased frequently by customers. For example, for household items such as food like chicken, sugar and rice are frequently purchased from people like housewife and maid to cook at home. Another example is personal care product like sunscreen, deodorant, perfume, sunblock is our daily requirement to use every time we want to go out. This product will tend to have inelastic demand. Meanwhile, things such as diamonds and golds are rarely purchased since these jewelry are expensive and pricey, so some people cannot afford to buy it.
In conclusion, there is many determinants of price elasticity of demand that will affect the demand curve to be elastic or inelastic. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys get more knowledge when you are watching this video. Bye bye!